All right, we're recording.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna I did some research just to refresh my memory because I did this last year. When I first started as a coach in March of 2015, I don't even remember where I saw it. It was probably something in TKO, but it was just like about your why and how you should like create something, whether it's words or pictures or whatever, and have it in front of you. And I remember doing that like right away as a coach, and it wasn't pretty. It was really ugly actually, and it was just words. And it was just words, and it actually really helped. Like, I don't know, like some of those things have been achieved now, and some of them are huge dreams of mine, like that, might take years. But it was really big and it really helped. And then I remember when we moved, I'm not sure if I kept it or not, so I'll have to look. But anyway, then last New Year's Eve, or around New Year's, I attended like a webinar about creating a vision board and stuff, and that was really helpful. And basically it was more or less not like how to create a vision board, but just like getting in the right mindset for it. And that was really helpful. But then anyway, so what I wanted to talk about was, first I did some research, and like it was talking about, I guess I don't have to hide my face for this part while I'm talking, but it was just talking about how it's not just like self-help gurus that suggest it, like it's in one of the ways it got really popular was in the book The Secret. I don't know if you guys ever heard that book, but I remember when my in-laws were reading it and I thought they were nuts because it's very like, manifestation, and like what you focus on expands and that stuff, which I understand now, but at the time I was like, come on. But in actuality, like psychologists have been studying it for years, and like athletes do it all the time. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's true. When I think about like my volleyball days, like we always did like envision yourself, like taking those steps, jumping right there, spiking the ball, So anyway, they studied like athletes, like weightlifters, the same things that are being released in their brain when they actually lift heavy happen when they imagine themselves lifting heavy. So I thought that was really interesting. So basically it's like a known fact now that if you have something that in front of you that you look at frequently, you have to look at it frequently, it does tend to expand, like become reality in your life. So that's just so mind-boggling to me. But and it's based on the fact that like we'll be doing mini visualizations every day throughout the day without even realizing it. So that's kind of the concept. So then I was like, okay, enough of the boring stuff. We need to figure out like, okay, so how do you do one? Because I felt pretty clueless when I did it before. And so I looked up, I think it's Christine Kane is how you say her name, Christine Kane. But she, and this is where I'll read. So I'm going to video my face real quick so it's not just frozen somewhere weird. But so she talks about how to make a vision board. And this was really, this was very helpful, I thought. So it talks about, the idea is to surround yourself with images of who you want to become, what you want to have, where you want to live, anything like that, life changes, that kind of stuff. But she also talks about how it's more about like, it's less about like material things, although those will probably be on your vision board, and more about how you want to feel. So for example, she puts this coaster, she has like a coaster on her vision board that's of a salon that she like loves going to. And she's like, I have no intentions of owning a salon or getting into that, or anything, but she loves the way that salon makes her feel. And so for her, the tie was like, in her mind, it triggers like, I want my customers to feel that way, or I want to feel that way, so it doesn't always make sense to other people is the point. Like you just look at things that make you feel good. So one of the things that they say to do like is, okay, if you're doing this on a hardboard, you're going to use primarily like magazines and, just bits and pieces of things like quotes and things like that. But if you're doing it online, then you can use Pinterest. The sky's the limit. But when you're looking through pictures, so like if I'm going through a magazine, instead of like me going in and looking for specific things. It's kind of like look through the pictures, and the ones that make you feel good, tear them out. Even if they don't make any sense at the time, like you have no idea how that's going to fit into your board or how that's going to fit into your life or your goal, tear them out. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting, because I wouldn't do that on my own. And so sometimes those might get pitched later, like that might not make the cut. But other times, like people have said, they put things on their board. Like this woman put a teddy bear on her board, and she had no idea like what the connection was until like 2 months later. So that was really weird. But then she talks about 3 different like starting points. So before we begin, let me go over the methods. So there's 3 methods of doing this. First is like, you know what you want. You exactly know, like, by the end of this year, I want to be making this much money, or like, I want to buy a Cadillac, like whatever it is, like you have a very specific, you know, what you want. And so in that case, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Sorry. In that case, it's just like, you're very clear about what you want. You want to change your environment or your surroundings, and it's a specific thing that you want. So it's not just like a feeling or like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's specific, like a new home or starting a business or whatever. And so in that case, you're going to be more specific when you're looking for pictures. And then the second one is more like opening and allowing vision board. So that's going to be where you're not sure what exactly you want, or you're coming out of a period of depression or grief, or you have a vision of what you want, but you're uncertain about it in some way. So I feel like that's kind of me, because I'm always like, well, I mean, I kind of know what I want, but like sometimes I'm uncertain. And then the other one is, you know what you want to change. You know what you want, that you want change, but you don't know how it's possible. So that's kind of the second category. And so if that is you, then you're going to want to, like I said, go through the magazine, tear out things that you like, or on the internet, just kind of save a bunch of them. And you don't really know how it's going to all come together until later. And then the last one is a theme vision board. And so this one, it talks about like, if it's specific to like a theme, like your birthday or New Year's Eve, a significant event that starts a new cycle. So for us, it's kind of a theme too, because we're starting a new year. We're kind of focusing on our business, but not limited to that. If you're working on one particular area of your life, etc. So then it goes on to say like, it can be all 3. It doesn't have to be just one. And you might start one way and it ends up another way. So don't feel confined by boxes like, well, I started with this theme in mind, but now I'm on this totally different, you know what I mean? We just kind of have to like totally let creativity take over. And so it might not turn out, you know what I mean? Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it might change as you make it. And then really the other bigger thing is just kind of, and I'll take myself off this. I'll get out of here for a second. So the biggest thing to do right now is just making sure that you have, you know, you're kind of set up already. Like you have stuff in front of you. So for Eileen, she's doing like all internet. So she might have PicMonkey pulled up and some Pinterest, but you haven't really started yet. I have like magazines, Sharpie markers, just kind of a mess. But before I even like start, so the first thing we're going to do, kind of weird, but we're just going to like, we can talk too, but just like take 1 minute. Let's just take 1 minute and think about like what it is that you want. And that's such a vague question. So think about, like, don't limit yourself. Like, what in life do you want? What is it that you really want? So we're thinking like, doesn't have to be confined to this year, doesn't have to be confined to this business or what you think you can achieve. It's like, no, sky's the limit. What do you want? Like, what's in your heart of hearts that you, especially like things that maybe have been there for years, or like these deep dreams that you have. So for example, I've always wanted to be in a movie. That's been a dream of mine since I was a little girl, but I like bury that really, really deep, because I know I'm not going to go to acting school. Like, I'm not going to do these traditional paths, but it's still there. You know what I'm saying? I want to adopt one day. That's not something that I can foresee in the next year, but it's still something that's there, and it's like a deep-seated dream. I want to speak at Hearts at Home someday, or travel with Jake and talk at marriage conferences. Like those are just, you know what I mean? Like those are just things that I've dreamt of before. So things like that. Like not things like that. I mean things that maybe you've not thought about in a long time because life happened and you're in reality. So I'm going to be quiet just a couple minutes, and we're just going to sit here and let our minds like think and dream for a second. So nothing is too small and nothing's too big. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Okay. Where are you guys going to stare?
Not at you.
I'm just going to close my eyes. Okay, this is hard. I'm going to lay down and close my eyes for a second. Okay, and then I should have said too, like, it doesn't have to be things, like it can be words, it can be feelings. So sometimes, like, when you're just thinking about where you want to be, like for me, a lot of times it's like a word, like words pop up in my mind, like peace and like contentment and fulfillment, things like that. You know what I mean? Like I have this vision in my head of what it feels like, but it's not necessarily like things that make it that way. Okay. Okay, so did you guys dream?
Yes.
Okay. So then you can leave it there if you want. Like you can just put, whatever that is, like even if that's something like that's your end goal or your end state or whatever, something that you want in your life. Or you can, it's up to you what you want this dream board to be. If you want it to be a 1 year, like specific vision board to the end, then you would want to take another minute and think about what you want. And it might be the same because I don't want you to limit yourself and think you can't have it in 1 year. But if there's something like in your business or in your health or in your family, like where you want to be 1 year from now. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be a step closer to that bigger dream and vision, but I just encourage you not to think too small still, because you might think, well, it's only a year, you know what I mean? So you're like being piddly about, you're being realistic about it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys want to think about, let's just take one more minute and think about that. So where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What do you want your life to look like just in general in 1 year? Okay. You got 1 minute. And you could write the stuff down too if you need to. Okie dokie. Okay, and then before we stop recording, let's just share like which category do you think you fall in, or do you still have no idea of the three? Like, you know what you want, you know what you're looking for in your pictures. And if you do, share those. Share what you're looking for.
I don't really know like which one I would be. I kind of think in some ways I'm all over the place because part of me thinks like I don't want to dream too big in some ways because I was kind of raised that way. Like, I don't know, I was raised like you get your groceries from the like food pantry kind of a thing. Like, I mean, heck, I'm freaking on food stamps right now and WIC. And so like I'm just having a hard time imagining things. But then the other side of me is like I have like a huge like list here. Well, not huge, but a list of some very specific things that I feel like over the past 10 months of just doing like personal development and other people empowering me to like believe in myself and to like see all of these other top coaches do these amazing things with their life and literally come from less than what I have right now, and look at like them buying their new homes and like retiring their spouses and things like that, just makes me realize that these things are possible and that I'm never going to have them if I don't dream them and make those dreams into realities. So I think for me, I'm just going to put anything and everything that I want on my board, and what I hit in 2016 is what I hit in 2016, but eventually I will hit everything on that board no matter how long it takes. So I guess I'm just going to have like a running board. Some things more specific than others, but
Yeah, no, I love that.
am I supposed to read what these are?
That's how I made mine last year. I had things. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I want to build a log cabin home in Franklin, Tennessee with cash. And
I love it.
Franklin, if you don't know, like Franklin is one of the most beautiful historic towns.
I've been there.
Been
I
to
mean, it's
Franklin?
awesome.
No,
We went
it's
to
like
yeah. what
like
house?
country music celebrities have their like 38 $50 million mansions in Franklin. Like, it's beautiful there. I want to be completely debt free. I never want to have to think about having enough money. I want to be able to just go and do without thinking about cost. I want to travel to Venice, Italy, Greece. I want to love on orphans in Uganda. I want contentment, overflowing joy, new dream car. I want to speak on the National Wake Up Call.
Yeah.
Pay for my parents' house so they can retire. And my little like paragraph thing is I want to feel free of money worry, happy and content with life, full of life and filled with gratitude and love. I want to be a life and world changer. I want to be a force to be reckoned with. I will buy something big with cash before 2017 or before 2018. That's my.
Those are really, really awesome. And they reminded me of things I forgot about that I put on my list. Those are really good. Okay. You have anything, Kelly?
I didn't write them down. I don't have. I'm in my daughter's room. We're kind of all over the place. So this was the one place I had.
Well, do you have anything that comes to mind?
Well, yeah. I want to go live sometime in, I know that's like on the smaller scale.
That's all right.
I want to start thinking about buying our own home. I want, Ryan, my husband, has always kind of thought about going back to school. So I'd like for him to be able to do that. We'd like to travel. I've always wanted to go, what's another word for like a sabbatical? That's not really what I mean, but like taking a month and like going to do some type of mission work. Like I've always wanted to do that.
That's cool.
I want to speak on the National Wake Up Call because I definitely don't want to do that, but I would love to want to.
There you go.
I would love to be debt free. Yeah, those are just some things that come to mind. Definitely starting to think about owning our own home, though. That's a pretty huge one right now, though.
Yeah, that's really good. It's funny because like those bigger ones that I wrote down when I was first coaching, like some of them have happened and some of them haven't. But I had that on mine too, Eileen, like that I wanted to retire my parents someday. And I've actually really forgotten about it. Because I think if you don't have it in front of you, you kind of, you just get into everyday life and you just think like this is reality and you want to be content, right? Like I don't want to live in misery all the time because I don't have these things. But anyway, so yeah, that's really good because I forgot that I wanted to do those things. But this last year, I was a little bit more specific, but it wasn't specific to this year necessarily. But I didn't have that many things on it last year, but one was a healthy pregnancy, which finally happened when I didn't think it would. And then one was buying our first house. And I really, like when I did that it's just weird because when I did that, like in January, we didn't even we weren't even at the place mentally that we were resigning from our pastor position in Rockford. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just crazy, like how looking back, how things played out, like that actually happened. And it's almost like anticlimactic because when you're in it, you know what I mean? Like it's step by step. So then it happens and it's not as surreal anymore. But if you would have told me in January that we would have been buying our first house in, you know what I'm saying, in November, like I probably wouldn't have believed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Like a few things. I don't remember what the other thing was that happened, but it was like 3 out of 5 or something. And so to me, it's like, that's why we dream so big. Because even if, I think that they all will happen eventually, but it's just cool as they start to happen and everything like that. But, okay. So mine for this year is more just like in 1 year, I guess. Mine's more, I need to look back at that thing that I wrote out because that was a good reminder, Eileen, like all those big things that I want to do. Because I think that those are like really good reminders of like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, but specifically this year, mine is more of like a state of mind that I'd like to be in. Like by the end of this year, I would like to let's see. I want to be in like amazing shape. So I know I'm having a child in May. So it's like the second half of the year. I want to be in amazing, what?
It's go time.
Yeah.
Come the second half of the year.
I want to be in amazing shape to where like, what I mean is like, not just like look good, but like where I don't have to like yo-yo. Like I don't have to go back and forth. Like it's just like a part of who I want to be one of those people that cannot go without working out like more than one day or something. You know what I mean? Like how like there's coaches like that they just like, it's so part of them, in not like an obsessive way. It's just like, it's their habit. It's not my habit. It's really still not my habit. I mean, I let things become an excuse too often, I guess. So I want to be one of those people, and I want to be someone that like, I don't know, I just want to be healthier and in better shape. And then I want to be more satisfied and like content, just like inner peace kind of a thing. I want to be more organized by the end of the year. So just like my house, my family, my business, like everything. I just want it to be more organized, which might require, I realize like that might require an assistant or a cleaning lady. Like I might be, but to me, that's like, I would love that. I would rather be working on my business, making money, paying someone else to clean my house than me cleaning my house, because that's just me. But I just want to be, and this doesn't mean that I don't have this right now, but I just want to be like so in love. Like I just want to have so much joy in business and parenthood and everything and stuff like that. And then I want my husband by the end of next year to be like at a job that he absolutely loves and is fulfilled and isn't going to be burned out and is and that like he doesn't need, so like something that he doesn't have that pressure of like, I have to make this money, because like right now he likes his job, but it's a constant struggle that comes up. Like he feels like he needs to be a firefighter because, well, he would love it for one, but also because of money, you know. And I don't want him to think like, I don't want him to even have to think about that or stress. So that's where I'm kind of headed. Sure, I have more specific like Beachbody goals. Actually, I really haven't thought about it. I should have. Well, definitely, I definitely think that we can be an elite team by next year. I absolutely think that's possible.
And what does that mean?
So being elite, like how do you get there, or what does it mean?
To be an elite team.
So if you're an elite team, you get like perks, like our whole team.
Does that mean everybody is an elite coach?
No, it doesn't. It means I'm an elite coach and my team. Well, I definitely think you guys can be elite too this year. So that's definitely possible. Because there were people last year who were not diamond, who became 5-star elite. It's hard. Like that's hard. Most people are at least usually start off at least a diamond or two. But you get perks for being for being an elite team. You get a lot of perks, like not just the coach, but the whole team gets benefited from it. So I don't know. I think that'd be cool. But also I know that I need to like break out of this rut, like this shell that I've been in. And you know, it's funny, Eileen, you'll be happy about this. So okay, we can't post this in the team page though. So
Wait, we can't post this video.
Let's just stop recording.
Okay.
Psych, can't tell you guys this. No. Okay, you tell me when we stop recording. Okay, good.